What if I told you that debt is not just something you have, but something you are being? In this video, you will discover a powerful shift in consciousness that can free you from debt, not by struggle, but by changing the state you occupy. You do not have a debt problem. You are in a state of debt. And until you leave that state, you will meet it again and again. For debt is only a state of consciousness, and you may leave that state at any moment you choose. I recall a man who came to me burdened with debt. His creditors pressed him on every side. The weight of it seemed crushing. He had tried every human means, borrowing here, promising there, working longer hours, but the more he struggled, the heavier it became. I said to him, "Do not try to pay the debt. Do not even think of how it shall be paid. Assume instead the feeling of one who is already free." He looked at me in astonishment and said, "But how can I feel free when the bills are still there and the collectors keep calling?" I answered, "You cannot feel free while you bow before the evidence of your senses. Turn away from it. It is but the shadow of a former state. Do not imagine that you will be free. Assume that you are free. Feel the burden gone. Walk as one who owes no one anything. Do not hope for it. Assume it is done. When doubt comes, and it will come, do not argue with it. Return to the fulfilled end. Sleep there." Now hear this. Most people will not do it because it requires abandoning what feels real. They would rather remain in debt than abandon the state that produces it. They see debt and accept it. They feel pressure and bow to it. They hear demands and yield to them. Man fights the shadow on the wall instead of turning on the light. He takes appearances as final, as though they have power over him, dead in his trespasses, buried in the tomb of appearances, reacting as a conditioned being instead of awakening as the creator. And so he continues, not because he must, but because he agrees to it. He never sees that it is only his own acceptance made visible. I tell you, do not wrestle with debt. Do not argue with numbers. Do not rehearse it in your mind. That is not freedom. It is the same state repeated. You remain in it by responding to it. Every time you return to it in feeling, you enter it again. Now consider the man I spoke of. At first, nothing changed. The old state remained. The telephone rang. The mail brought reminders, but he persisted. He remained faithful to his assumption, and in a short time, weeks, not months, it came to pass. A creditor offered a settlement unexpectedly. Another debt was canceled without his asking. One by one, the obligations vanished, not by effort. They could not remain. They did not belong to the state he had entered. And what does not belong has no place there. You do not get out of debt by paying debt. You get out of debt by no longer being the one who has it. The moment you assume you are free and persist in that assumption, it is done. So tonight, do not fight the problem. Move into the state where it does not exist. Assume it fully. Enter the state of the one who is free. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. For there is no waiting. There is only the state you occupy, and life must follow. You have worn the garment of debt and called it yourself, but it was never you. It was assumed and sustained by your acceptance. So put it off. Put on the one who is free. Wear it until it feels natural. Remain there. For when it feels natural, it is no longer something you do. It is what you are. And once this truth is seen, there is nothing left to change. The state has been entered, and what is entered must appear. Subscribe to Stories and Quotes B for more powerful insights that transform your inner world. Because when you change your state, your entire reality begins to follow.